Hello, hello, my beautiful and lovely souls. Welcome back to my channel. And also, welcome to my very first Shop My Deck collection. Before we get to the first deck, I just want to preface and say that all of these decks are beautiful and lovely decks and just masterpieces by their creators. It's just, I'm rehoming them because I've added some things to my collection. I'm trying to get a smaller curated collection. I'm really learning after 2 or 3 years of purchasing decks and working with the tarot what I like and what resonates with me. And some of these did at the beginning, and we've had our time, but that time has ended. All right, the first deck is the Ember and Aura Tarot by Jamie Richardson, and this is the second edition, the Awakening edition. The only reason why I'm rehoming this, I love this deck and I have 2 copies of it, so that's the only reason why I decided I don't need 2 copies of it. So just for those of you who may not be familiar, I have a full unboxing of this deck on my channel, and there are lots of unboxings of it, but it's edged in a beautiful pink, and you can see it's in really good condition. The deck is not bowed, and look at those beautiful backs. And I'll just flip through a few cards. This deck is a minimalistic deck, if for those of you who like that kind of artwork. Lots of white space, and they are bigger. They're more oracle size, so take that into account. A little bit larger, wider, a little bit taller than standard tarot size. And let me just show you here for those of you who have small hands like I do, so you can compare. So we've got a plaid back RWS, and you can see, yeah, so like a standard oracle size card. Beautiful, soft, calming artwork. This is a beautiful deck and an easy reader. It is very female presenting, female centric. There are a few males or male centrics in the quartz, but largely it is female presenting, female centric deck. And I do love that they did try to put some age in here. I love this deck, but I don't think I need 2 copies. I'm just trying to stream down a little bit. I don't believe you can get this deck anymore. She has stopped producing it, and right at this time that I'm filming, there are no copies on eBay. So it would be kind of a unique purchase if you were to choose and add this for your collection. And this is the Ember and Aura Tarot by Jamie Richardson, the Awakening condition. Oh, and it is a beautiful matte cardstock. It's very easy to shuffle. I mean, it slips really well, and it doesn't clump together. And I mean, really, can you go wrong with those beautiful pink edges? Oh, and it does come with this little guidebook where you get a little black and white thumbnail picture of the card, so you don't have to bring your deck to bed if you want to read the guidebook in bed. So that's a good thing. The next deck that I would like to rehome is the 5th Spirit Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. Now, this is a wonderfully modern, diverse deck. It is a pip deck for the most part. It does come with a little, a little brown book, as the case is, and there's no pictures or anything. It's just very rudimentary, but you get what you need. 2-piece box, hard box with thumb cutouts, and this is a lovely linen cardstock. Now, the last time I checked, I haven't checked this week, but this deck at the moment was unavailable. I think it was going to be coming back, but as far as I know, it's not available at the moment. I don't know what's up with the availability of this deck. But when I checked, the last time I checked, it was not available. Linen cardstock. These are the beautiful backs. Beautifully modern and very, very, very diverse, as you can see here. Though I find that this deck competed with my beloved Slow Tarot. They both have the same wonderful, beautiful cardstock, and they're both diverse. They're both modern, but I like the full-fledged color. Of the Slow Tarot, I'm drawn to that deck more. So this deck is not getting the love that it deserves. This deck is in pristine condition, and I forgot to mention that the Ember and Aura one is as well. I will mention if there's any major flaws, but largely these decks are in like new condition. Like they basically they look like they've just had the wrapper, plastic wrap taken off. And, you know, very lightly used. I'm not a riffle shuffler, so I'm not hard on my cards. The other thing is I have a lot of decks. So I have very few decks that have, you know, a lot of wear, because I have not had my decks for years and years and years. So when you get a deck from me, unless I mention otherwise, they are pretty much in pristine condition. As you can see, like I mentioned, this deck is pippish, like illustrated pips. So, but you get what you need with the imagery. And again, wonderful, wonderful diversity, and it's so modern. And this is the 5th Spirit Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. The next to be rehomed is actually a set. These are going as a set as opposed to one individual. And these are the mini decks by James R. Eads, the Light Visions, the Prisma Visions Tarot, and the Cosma Visions Oracle decks. I purchased these. I got the Kickstarter several months ago, and truth be told, these have just been sitting. I think I opened one of them, you know, to check out the cardstock, and I have not used these at all. So they are all in pristine and new condition. There are no dents on any of the tins. These are little decks, pocket decks of the full-size decks. And we'll just take a look, and I'll just show you, and yeah, you can see how secure the tins are. So in these decks, you get a little pull out as opposed to a book. These are edged. You can see just like the larger counterpart. And it's this beautiful, the newer matte cardstock that James R. Eads is putting these decks out in now. Beautiful, beautiful matte cardstock, and I haven't even gone through the whole deck. But you all know these decks, the Light Visions, the Prisma Visions. These are wonderful, wonderful pocket decks, but this is intricate artwork, and I don't know why I really purchased these. I like to have pocket decks for larger spreads, but for my old eyes, yeah, it's a little bit hard. But for some of you with younger eyes or with really good eyesight, this could be a wonderful option for you, especially if you're a professional reader or if you read for other people and like to do some larger spreads with tarot and oracle. And I will show you the tins have this nice felt, and they're felt lined, so the gilding won't be scratched while you're taking the decks in and out of the tin. So high quality, and I'll just show you very quickly what the others look like. But yes, this is going as a set, and I'm not going to sell them individually because I want them all to go. I just don't want to be stuck with one. They're all going to go, and that's how I paid for them on Kickstarter. And you can see this gunmetal gray for the Cosma Visions, the gilding. Those are the backs. This beautiful, beautiful matte cardstock, and you can see how beautiful this is. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. And we'll take a quick look at the light visions. So here's the light visions, the same pullout, and you can see this deck. You can see this one has the shiny gold edging. So all three decks are edged, wonderfully matte, feels good in the hand. They're this tiny, tiny pocket thin size, so easily manageable. Again, something wonderful if you do larger spreads, especially for those of you who are professional readers, you know. And that's what I initially wanted to, you know, use this with Oracle and Lenormand, but the artwork is very, very intricate for this size of card, so take that into account. But for those of you who are younger, and you know this deck really well, it won't be a problem for you. And just the high quality of the production, you know, everything James R. Eads does is high quality. So yes, you're gonna have to want all three of these decks because they are going as a set, and I will not be separating them because I bought them as a set. Okay, moving on. The next deck I would like to find a new home for is the Morning Calm Oracle by C.O. Kelleher. Now this deck right now is not available, but there is a pre-order for it. And I think it's supposed to be shipped in September, but this is a beautiful, beautiful deck that I backed on Kickstarter that is based on Korean culture. And I mean, the artwork is stunning, and it does come with a beautiful, beautiful little guidebook, which you can see here. There are little black and white thumbnails of the cards, and I've done a full unboxing. But this deck consists of cards, oracle cards, and sigil cards for those of you who like to work with sigils. But look at this artwork. Let me get it centered here. It is beautiful. And I worked with this deck quite a bit when I got it. And it was something that I needed and I enjoyed, but it hasn't gotten any love. Look at these beautiful backs. So if you are interested in this deck, I mean, it is stunning. It is stunning. But I find I purchase mostly tarot and Lenormand, and I'm very, very picky with my oracle. And I think my taste in oracles evolves even more than my taste in tarot. And I'm very, very picky. And my oracle collection is not as large as my tarot collection, that is for sure. And this is just, here's one of the sigil cards. This is just not getting the love it deserves. Look at how beautiful it is. And also, oh, I love this card, the Sisterhood. This deck is edged in a matte gold. It seems to have some little bit of sparkle, but you can see the cards are not bowed at all. Again, I'm not hard on my decks at all. So the box and the cards are in pristine condition. And this is the Morning Calm Oracle by C.O. Kelleher. The next two decks I would also like to go ideally as a set because that's the way I purchased them, and I purchased them to work with one another, and they are the Numinous Tarot and the Threadbound Oracle by Cedar McLeod. Now, truth be told, I wanted this deck so much when it came out, and then it became unavailable, and then it became available again on Kickstarter. And then by the time I got it, it's like my tastes had changed and I wasn't really excited about it anymore. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck, and you can see from the production values. Look at how great that is. Nice, large 2-piece box. And with the tarot deck, you do get this very, very chunky monkey book with, again, black and white thumbnails of the cards. Lots of information in the book. And look at these pastel backs. Just gorgeous. And it's linen cardstock. So you think it should have been, you know, everything that I love. But I've taken this out and flipped through it, and I think the art is beautiful, and it spoke to me enough at one time that I purchased it and I backed it and I was excited about it. But I find that it's not something that stirs my soul right now, that gets me tingling. It's a wonderful, diverse, and modern deck. It feels wonderful in the hand. And there's just other decks that I have that you know, I've taken this deck out and I say, I'm going to work with it. And I'm like, no, I'm going to take the Light Seers Tarot. No, I'm going to take my Slow Tarot. And those are decks that take precedence. And this deck really has not gotten any love, and it is a shame, and it's a travesty, and it's just been sitting on the shelf. And that should not be. And I just think too much time lapsed by the time I really wanted it, and then it was unavailable. And, you know, by the time another Kickstarter came around and I purchased it, and then the extra time that I got it in the mail, a lot of time had elapsed and I had changed. But it is beautiful. It's beautiful, but I'm looking at it now and I think it's gorgeous and it's beautiful, but I'm not itching to work with it. I'm just not, and I can't really explain why that is. It appealed to me at one time, but it's not speaking to me now. And that happens. Let me know in the comments below if you've had that happen with a deck. You know, by the time you finally get it on a Kickstarter and you have it in your hands, it's not, you know, for whatever reason, you're not feeling called to work with it. You know, and there's a Kickstarter that I backed over a year ago, and I think many of you backed it, the Literary Tarot, that I know right now when I get it, I'm going to be rehoming it because, you know, I've done changing. I've seen more of the artwork, and I know it's not going to speak to me. I can just tell. I could be wrong. I could be pleasantly surprised, but I haven't even gotten that deck. I don't know when I'm going to get that deck. Let me know if you back that deck in the comments, but I know I'm probably not even going to. If it's wrapped in plastic, I probably won't even unwrap it. I know. But I think, you know, I'm not the only one that this has happened to. Now, this is the Numinous Tarot, and I want it to go with the Threadbound Oracle, ideally. So I purchased them together in, you know, thinking I was going to work with them together. And this is, I mean, you can't get over the production value of this little oracle deck. The little book, it looks like a book, pages of a book. And there is the full-size, I think it's called the Ties That Bind book that you can purchase separately on Cedar McLeod's site that you can get. I didn't back that. I just have the book that comes with the deck. There's no pictures in here, but I'm sure you get everything you need. And look at this. It's so, so cute. Again, my beloved linen cardstock. I love this teal green. It's wonderful. But I think because this deck is its own system, there's a system to it. I don't really want a total system in my oracle decks. I want something to enhance a tarot reading. And I don't think this deck is it, other than like for the Numinous tarot, because you can see how cohesive the artwork is. But I've gotten just really picky with oracle decks, and I don't have many left. And this isn't what I need right now, and it's not what I'm, gravitating to. But it is beautiful. It is beautiful, and I know I want it to serve somebody and not just sit in storage on my shelf and it's not getting any love. I have not worked with it. Both decks are in pristine condition, and again, I ideally want these to go as a set, unless I get two separate people who are at the same time who are interested in one and the other. I want them gone. I don't want to be stuck with one and not the other. If you get what I'm, saying, because I did mean for these to be worked with together. So ideally, I would like these to go as a set. But if I have two people contacting me who wants one and somebody else wants the other, then I will separate them. But we'll see how it goes, okay? And that is the Numinous Tarot and the Threadbound Oracle. Ideally, I hope that they will go as a set. The next deck I would like to find a new home for is the Light Visions Tarot. Now, I believe this is the second edition. I think there's 3 editions of this deck. The first edition was on the glossy cardstock. This is the cardstock that's the thicker matte cardstock. It's edged in this beautiful gold, and you can see I really haven't used this deck. There's no bow, there's no chips in the gilding. It's in brand new, pristine condition. The book, the spine has not been cracked, and you can see it comes with this wonderful little guidebook. The third edition I think is out is that thinner matte cardstock, but this is the older cardstock. What's described more as rose petally. So, beautifully sturdy. It feels like velvet in your hand, but you can see, it's in perfect condition. And I will say, I thought I got this deck because when I was seeing it, a lot of the cool people on TarotTube had it and were reading with it, and people doing readings with it. And I'm like, yes. It would add another dimension to my readings, and really it doesn't. I'm not called to use this deck, and I don't know why. I think it's beautiful, but it just doesn't stir those intuitive juices within me, and it just doesn't speak to me like some of my other decks do. And that's fine. Sometimes you have to experiment to grow and to see what resonates. And you can be influenced on TarotTube to try something new, to get out of your comfort zone and your comfort box. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And it's all, trial and error and, a growing process. So I think it's beautiful. You can see it's in perfect condition, but it needs to find a new home. And I've let some new things in that I think, that are what I'm itching to work with right now. And this isn't. So this is the Light Visions Tarot by James R. Eads. And it is the second, I believe, edition with the rose petal thicker cardstock. And the next deck to be rehomed is the Prisma Visions Tarot. Now, this is the newest 6th edition that I purchased along with the Cosma Visions Oracle. So I had this as an add-on because I didn't have this deck. And I thought with the color, I would bond with it better than the light visions, because I had the light visions first. And I like it. I do like it better, but it's just been sitting on my shelf. And this is the version that comes with the newer cardstock, the thinner matte cardstock. And it has all these extra cards. Okay, so you'd be getting all these extra cards. Look how gorgeous this artwork is. I love it. In some ways though, it does, some of the cards make me dizzy. And you can see this deck has not been used or loved. This one is unbowed, unchipped. It's in pristine new condition. It feels sumptuous. I love this matte cardstock. It's beautiful, and you get this guidebook along the same vein as the light visions. So this is the 6th edition, the most current edition that you can get. And I just put the extra cards here in the back, and then I have the guidebook here, and then the cards. Do I need to flip through more of these cards? Because I think you all know this deck. But I haven't used it. I'm not really being called to use it. I do like it a lot better than the light visions as far as it giving me, it does a little bit better with giving me the intuitive hits. I think the color has a lot to do with it, but I have a lot of other decks that I am called to use over this one. So it's brand new. It's brand new, and it's just been sitting on my shelf, and it needs to find another home. And that is the most current edition, the 6th edition of the Prisma Visions Tarot by James R. Eads. And you can see, yes, 6th edition 2020. The next 2 decks I'm not selling as a set, but they're by the same creator, and I just wanted to show them. They are the Monstarot deck, and this is the 2nd edition, and the Whispering Spirits Tarot deck, both by Joanna Nelson, with the guidebooks by Trish Sullivan. Now, I got the Whispering Spirits early on in my tarot journey. This beautiful, beautiful deck, whimsical, beautifully produced deck, an early Kickstarter that I backed, and I did bond with this deck and used it. And I was so happy to get a deck by Joanna Nelson, because I had been watching a lot of Katie Flowers and of course Lisa Papez with their love of the Monstarot, and the Monstarot wasn't available. So I was happy when this deck became available, and I did enjoy working with it. But the time has passed, and I think for the past year it has not been used. And I took it out the other day to see, you know, if it was going to give me the feels and the tingles. And while I love the art and I think it's beautiful, I'm not being called to work with it. It's not really, it's almost like the conversation is now forced, where it used to be easy when I first got it. It's an adorable, adorable deck. Now you can see as far as condition, it was really hard for me to shuffle this deck. And I did a lot of mixing on the table and trying to shuffle this way overhand, because it is kind of, it's hard for my small hands. But you can see, look how perfect the deck is, unbowed, uncrumpled. It's clean, it's pretty pristine. And it's, yeah, no dings on the box, as you can see. But yeah, I'm sad, but I have some other whimsical decks that I'm using. And there's another one I would like to add to my collection that is definitely more me, more Old Soul Mermaid whimsical, more Bonnie whimsical. And sometimes now when I see these decks, I see other people. You know what I mean? Let me know in the comment section if that makes sense to you. But I don't even think the Whispering Spirits, I checked this morning, I don't even think it's available right now, this full-size Whispering Spirits. And I don't know if she's, you know, maybe in her Etsy shop, sometimes it goes out of print and then she'll bring it back and restock. But right now you can't get this deck. And I checked on eBay, I didn't see any on eBay. So this would be a good find. If you want to add it, here it is. And the same with the full-size Monstarot deck. And you will be getting, whoever wants to purchase this, you will get this little bag, because this is what came, how it came in the Kickstarter. And also, if there's any of these Kickstarter decks, I will try to find, like especially with these two, I'll try to find the like art cards, if there was postcards. I can't guarantee I'll include them, but I'll try to find them. If I can find them, I will include them. But again, you can see I didn't use the Monstarot as much, and this got less love because I had already bonded with the Whispering Spirits, and by the time this one came around, I liked it, but I would reach for the Whispering Spirits over the Monstarot. So you can see this is the full-size deck. I do know that she has a travel size or pocket size or smaller deck. And actually, I might be attracted at some point to add that instead of having these large cards. These are super large for a tarot deck, but really good card stock. And you can see it has that extra card. I think the extra card is different in the first and second edition. But yeah, you all know this deck. It's a favorite of many. But this large size is not available right now. So if you want it, you should jump on it because I have it. The pocket or travel size is available on her site. I don't know if she plans on restocking. I imagine she probably will, but who knows when that'll be. So as of now, as I am filming this, both of these decks, Whispering Spirits and Monstarot in the full size, are not available, and I haven't seen, as of today, any on eBay. So yeah, here's your chance. And again, just to reiterate, I'm not selling these as a set. You know, you can purchase these separately, or you can purchase both if you're a super fan. This one I'm a little bit unsure about. This is the 5 Cent Tarot by Madame Clara. And you know, if you know me, this deck is totally, it's totally my aesthetic with the Victorian ephemera vibe. But I have 2 of these decks. This is the first Kickstarter when he first came out with it, and you only were able to pick, I think, 2 colorways, and with the, you had a couple of options, but then he did, he put out another Kickstarter where you had more options with colors, and I picked a color that I vibe with more with the bag and the edging. I got, you know, robin's egg blue edging and a yellow bag, and so I'm questioning whether or not I need the 2. So you can see it's in, I use the other one. This is in really good, pretty much pristine condition, as you can see, and the box as well. Yeah, pristine. I've kept it in the bag, and you would be getting the bag too. If I decide, I haven't really decided yet. I do really like this deck, but I'm questioning, the only thing I'm questioning is if I really need 2 of these. So if you like this aesthetic, the vintage ephemera, and this is a really good deck. Even though it's kind of intricate and there's no people, you do get keywords for your upright meanings and also here for your reversals. So it's kind of a good deck if you want to play with reversals. It gives you those little keywords and hints. So this is the Madame Clara 5-cent tarot. It is the very first Kickstarter he did. I don't think he didn't change any of the cards when he did the second Kickstarter. He just gave you more and different color options, but this is the first Kickstarter. And so this may be on the list. So just be aware, it may or may not be on the list. And if it's not this time, it may be in the future. The next two decks, again, I would like to see go as a set because I purchased them as a set. And they are the Story Cards deck and the Synchronicity deck by Kathy Nichols. And the Synchronicity deck came with this little pink bag and a die. Here are the guidebooks. I didn't keep them in their tuck box. This is for the Story Cards and this is for the Synchronicity deck. It's just easier. I kept both guidebooks in the little pink bag. There is a game, a divination game that you can play with this deck. That's why there's a die included. So you would get all that. As you can see, both tuck boxes are pretty pristine, uncrushed. They're in perfect condition. And so are the cards inside. I really had fun with these cards when I got them. They're on like nice make playing cards, cardstock, so easily shuffleable. You can see nice collage art decks with keywords. But I've had my time with them, and she does have a new Oracle deck, which I'm kind of chomping at the bit to get, and I think would suit me now a little bit better. So I'm going to say goodbye to these, hopefully, if somebody wants them. I would like to see these go as a set, but again, this set I would be willing to split up if I had two people that were interested in, you know, one and the other deck at the same time. I'm just kind of weird like that. I don't want to be stuck with one deck and not the other because I kind of have that set syndrome, you know. It's weird to me. Yeah, sorry. But you can see this is the Story Cards, and this is a fun deck. And we've had our time. I love, you know, I love collage and mixed media art decks. But we've had our time. I have another one which I use. It's a tiny one. The Compass Oracle deck by Heather Hopes, which I use a lot more than these now, and I've always used that one, and that one has always been my preference, even though I love these and enjoyed my time with them. But you can see that the cards are unbowed, they're clean, and that's one thing. I tend to wash my hands before I use my cards. It's kind of an OCD thing with me, so yeah, I'm persnickety that way. So just so you know that these decks that you're getting are going to be in wonderful, wonderful condition. And that is the Synchronicity deck and the Story Cards by Kathy Nichols. Next to be rehomed, we have a couple of mass market decks. This is Tarot for Kids by Teresa Reed. I got this one because I wanted to read the book. And also I thought that my niece might like it, but then when I saw the illustrations, I said, yeah, it's for a younger, I think a younger kid, and she's more into anime art and things. But these are huge cards. I mean, this is large oracle size cards, and it's a mass market deck, but look at how cute the backs are and how the cards are just so cute. But yeah, I think and some of the cards have been renamed to be a little bit softer and less jarring, but the artwork is great. It's a great little deck, and it comes with a great little guidebook by Teresa Reed. Yeah. And I saw this in one of my local independent bookshops, and I just picked it up along with something else. But it's got nice big illustrations, and I think it's a wonderful deck for a beginner or a child to start with the tarot with. There's no nudity in it, soft images. It's great, but yeah, it's not really getting any love in my collection. It was kind of an impulse buy because I really like Teresa Reed, and yeah. So this one is available. It's the Tarot for Kids by Teresa Reed. The next deck I would like to rehome is the Anime Tarot deck and guidebook. And this is a newer deck, I think, but I purchased this at Half Price Books, and you can see what I paid for it and what the list price is. And it's in pristine condition. Really, really good condition. And I actually purchased two, one for myself and one for my niece, and I took it to California with me, and because I really liked it at the time, and the cardstock is really, really nice, and you can see it has nice vibrant images. Those are the backs. It's a mass market deck, but then I was thinking anime is not really my thing. I don't know how long, you know, how often I'm going to use this. It follows the RWS system. You know, it's kind of like one of those things that, yeah, I don't know. It's a great little deck, though, if you like anime, or you know, a youth who wants to get started in tarot, who might vibe with this deck. Very good production. I like the feel of the cards. They're velvety. Yeah, velvety. So if you are a fan of anime art, this deck is up for grabs. Oh, and it's got a nice chunky monkey little guidebook with full color pictures in the guidebook, as you can see. So really, really great. Nice production. I don't know if anybody's going to want this, but the Deviant Moon Tarot Borderless edition is up for grabs. I got this deck early in my tarot journey when I was learning about shadow work. And I got this deck because it was all the rage. And quite frankly, you know, this artwork is not what I'm attracted to. You know what I'm attracted to. I'm not, you know, attracted to confronting, jarring images like this. But I learned to love this deck for the purpose of shadow work, and for a while it was the only deck I used for that purpose. But now in my collection I have others that I found that I can use for shadow work that has more imagery that I connect to. And yeah, you know how it is. And again, it's been a few years and I'm just learning what I like, and I'm trying to curate a collection of decks that when I look at them, when I grab them, when I touch them, I want to read with them. They give me the tingles. They bring me joy. And yeah, I'm learning which decks, and I've pretty much learned which decks do that for me. So I've had my time, and this deck was very, very helpful for a time. But yeah, it's time to go. And I know everybody has this and has probably had it and traded it away, but here I am. I'm gonna sell mine. If you want it, it'll be cheap. So that's the Deviant Moon Borderless edition. It's in pristine condition. All right, yes, the next thing that I would like to rehome is this set, the Cosma Visions Oracle, the book of Prisma Visions, and then it also is the Cosma Visions Oracle book. So yeah, it has both decks in here. And you'll get the double-sided spread cloth. Yeah, all of this. I pretty much, well, let's see. I'm going to show you the deck first. This deck, I tried to work with it, and it it just didn't compute, or I wasn't getting it. And I think it's because it doesn't suit totally my view of the afterlife, or what I hope is in the afterlife. And you see it comes with, the deck alone comes with just the little guidebook, you know, little white book, like his other decks. This deck hasn't been worked with in depth because I just don't feel called to work with it. And look how beautiful it is. I did a full unboxing of this, and you can see it has those beautiful gunmetal gray edges. I recently saw Lisa Pappas's video of her going over the Book of the Dead, that new deck by Scylla Conway. And I think, yeah, that's much more my speed. This is a beautiful, beautiful deck. It's very in-depth. It is kind of like a tarot deck in a way. I don't know. I don't know if it's something I'm not ready for, or I'm just not meant to work with it, but I'm not feeling called to work with it. And I got the Kickstarter. You see, I got the cloth, I got the book, and I added that extra Prisma Visions deck. And, you know, sometimes you have to experiment and you have to try. I thought it was something I was going to jive with, and it's just not. I'm really, really sad. Believe me, I'm really, really sad about this. But I'm thinking I want to try something else. So this deck really hasn't been used. It hasn't been loved. The book hasn't been used or loved. There's nowhere on the deck, the book, the cloth. And I would rather, you know, I've brought some things in that I really love. And this needs to go to a home where it can be used, that somebody's just going to be so joyful in wanting to work with it. And right now, that's not my home. I've got the big, beautiful book with all the beautiful illustrations. One side goes over the Cosma Visions deck, and the other side goes over the Prisma Visions. It's a very, very in-depth book. Yeah, it's in perfect condition, just like when I got it out of the box. There's no shelf wear. It's perfect. And then we'll flip it over, and then you get the Prisma Vision side. So maybe you might want to buy the Prisma Visions and this set. I don't know, or maybe, you know, if you already have the Prisma Visions and you don't have the Cosma Visions, this would be great. But I'm including the book with the Cosma Visions deck because that's the Kickstarter it was included with. And also, I'm including the double-sided cloth. It's beautiful. And I'll try to remember to link my unboxing of this so you can see the cloth, both sides. One side, this is for Prisma Visions, and this side, the green side, is for the Cosma Visions Oracle. Let me just open it up a little bit so you can get a glimpse. But it's velvet or velveteen on both sides with this kind of foil, sparkly gold on this side, and then you get the sparkly silver on this side for the Prisma Visions. So that is it, beautiful people. I hope you enjoyed shopping my deck collection. These are things that I would like to move out and rehome to homes that will love them. Again, we've had our time. Some of them I didn't quite bond with, but that's okay. It's all a learning process. I've brought some great things in recently, and there's a couple of other things I would like to bring in that suit me right now in the here and now. that I know will bring me joy. So let me know if you're interested in any of these. I will leave my Gmail email here. I'm going to put it across the screen, and it will also be in the description box below, but I'm at oldsoulmermaid@gmail.com. Now, the prices that are going to be reflected in the description box will include shipping. Now, I'm kind of going for mostly just US shipping only, but I'm open to Canada and the UK, but be aware that there's going to be an added cost to the prices because of the extra shipping to Canada and the UK. So we'll see if you're in Canada and the UK and you really want something, we'll see if we can work something out. And I will try to get, a price what the shipping will be to ship over there. And, if it's agreeable to you, then maybe we can work something out. But yes, if you're in the US, the prices are going to reflect for the item and shipping. So I think that's it. And if you enjoyed this video, just a reminder, please help me and the almighty YouTube algorithm. We've not been getting along. And so, yeah, the algorithm doesn't like me. So you can help it like me more by hitting a subscribe, hitting a like, leaving a comment below, hitting that notification bell. And with that, I will leave you to get on with your beautiful day. Bye for now.